You're too young for this, Matthew. You weren't around in these times.
Yeah, I started going to school about 3 weeks ago, so
We got a new person.
yeah.
We should start the show. Right? Okay, this is episode 2.
Sorry.
Okay, this is episode of Legends of Mariachi. We got some good amount of views, I guess, in the past couple of days because I released that on Monday. Today is Wednesday, right? And it's gotten like close to 200 views right now. And we want to get more people involved. So we got Matthew. I guess
makes sense.
It's introduced. We didn't even introduce ourselves last time, I think.
No, we didn't.
I don't think we needed to. Like,
No, I mean, most of the people that saw it know who we are.
yeah.
But we have a new person joining the team this week. It's Matthew Moore.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome.
Woo!
Soundboard budget.
Yeah.
Why does everybody say that every time they see the board?
Like, it can do a lot.
Wow.
It's even got cup holders in the back somewhere.
It's got cup holders.
It has like little wheels. It drives itself. Where do you go? No, it's like a drone. It just like floats.
Does it test for COVID though?
Yeah, stick your finger right here. It's a new software update.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
But this week we're gonna be talking about Vicente Fernandez. Everybody knows who that is, right? Even people. So you guys have. I don't think you've ever played in Dripping Springs. Well, in El Rey.
No.
Out there at the restaurant.
No.
It's with Alex, a restaurant they used to have over there. And it was one day where we finished. And so Dripping Springs is kind of, it's very white. A lot of white people go over there.
Be honest.
And so a lot of white people go to this restaurant. And one time Alex and I we finished the restaurant. We were just outside talking. And this guy comes up to us. He was maybe early 20s. He was a little drunk. And he goes up to us. He has this like trucker hat on. He was a little skinny guy and like smiling. And he says, Vincent Fernandez. And then, but that's all he said.
So random.
And then Alex and I were like, is that your name? We didn't know if he was introducing himself. And then he started talking about Volver. And we're like, oh, you're talking about Vicente Fernandez.
Vicente Fernandez. Not them gentrifying him.
I was like, oh, okay.
It's like that's the only Spanish related words that he can get out of his mouth, maybe.
You know, a lot of people ended up finding out about him, like people that don't listen to Mariachi, because of his whole thing in the 2016 elections. Was it 2016?
What went on in the 2016 election?
When Hillary was running,
yeah.
Chente made a corrido de Hillary.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it's kind of like to the tune of La Ley Del Monte.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pretty funny.
Wow.
But I mean, even people that don't know mariachi or don't know anybody Hispanic or anything Mexican culture know Vicente Fernandez.
Mm-hmm.
He's a huge, huge star. And he grew up, really poor, right?
Yeah, very poor. In February 17th of 1940 in Huentitan, Jalisco. Because I got notes.
I
got a
was an
couple
Aquarius.
He's from Jalisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a ranch. Or a farm. A farm?
Well, I don't know. Ranch, farm, what's the difference?
Well, his yeah, I mean, his family were like really, really poor farmers. Like, poor to the point where, like, they needed to go work at other farms to maintain their own farm. Like, barely maintain it. Like, it's pretty bad.
But he grew up really, really poor, and he went around singing. I mean, he just always loved that ranchera music.
Yeah. He was like, well, because his mom would take, like, when he was like 8, I think, he they would see like movies by like Pedro Infante and other like singers, and like especially Pedro Infante, like he'd be like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
Just singing in the streets.
Right. Well, singing,
Oh.
doing a bunch of odd jobs.
He
A bus boy.
Uh, They gave him a guitar, and he learned how to play it a little bit, and which is essentially he actually can play guitar, which some of these interpreters they don't like that just sing.
Yeah.
Don't play an instrument.
There's a rumor he plays trumpet. Well, there's a video, but it's like poorly edited, but it looks like he's playing trumpet. And it looks like he's playing it pretty well, but I don't know how true that is. Have you seen it?
You should ask
No.
him. Message him on.
I mean, what's he doing? Just chilling at his ranch? Like, his multi-million-dollar ranch?
He's still producing music.
Yeah.
He's still releasing albums. He released one like last year.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He has a bunch of, like, raw tracks that haven't been edited yet. That he just recorded, like, when he was, like, a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, when he would go in the studio, man, they would record like 30 songs or something in a day. And
He has so many recordings, bro.
Over 100 albums.
So many.
over 100 albums and say minimum of 10 songs.
Yeah.
That's at like 1,000.
Yeah.
And that's the minimum, but there's more. And his concerts, I mean, he sings a lot.
Uh-huh.
He likes to get the crowd. What was his saying that as long as the crowd keeps cheering, he's going to keep singing?
Yeah.
And then he retired.
yeah.
And then he quit.
Yeah. He was just like, I'm done. Yeah, fuck it.
But
And then all the movies?
I watched some of the movies.
I did. It's a lot of them.
And they're so bad.
Have you seen the one with Ley Del Maria?
No, I
It's pretty
haven't seen
funny.
that. Have you seen any of his movies, Matthew?
No.
You should. I was going to tell you to watch at least one, but I just forgot.
They're
But
pretty long.
Oh.
they are. But
Yeah.
it's. I mean, you've seen some of his movies, right, Matt?
I've only seen a part of La Ley Del Monte. I only watched it to try and understand, I guess, interpret Spanish better.
Uh-huh. Did it help?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the one I had subtitles in
Oh, okay.
English.
Yeah, because man,
I just needed to hear it. I need to hear it, you know?
Yeah. When you ever read the lyrics, but you read the translated lyrics. I'm saying, some of the songs where say I don't have the words memorized, so like I'll pull it up, and if you just put in like say La Ley del Monte lyrics, it'll give you like the lyrics right off of Google, but sometimes they don't translate every word. So sometimes some of them are in English. So the sentence is like y tú que te fuiste, it says like you that fuiste.
Oh, yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah.
And I have to translate the word back in my head while I'm reading it. So I'm like, that's not Spanish. But it was at 14 years old where he won that vocal competition.
Yeah.
Dude, his voice is amazing, dude. I wish I had his voice.
At 14.
Well, I mean,
Right
at
now?
any age, really.
Right now?
He's better than me when I was 14, I bet. Shit.
Probably.
That was like the thing that gave him like the confidence to be like, I want to keep going. And then at 21 was that I think it was that show or movie. I don't know what it's called, but he was like 21 at the time. That's all I know. He would sing on it. I forgot I don't know the name, but I just know that.
After that competition, he was his family moved right to I think it was like Tijuana, or was it Tijuana?
Yeah.
Yeah, they moved like far away, but he went back
Yeah.
to Mexico City or to try and make it as a singer, and he almost quit.
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody would take him.
Yeah,
Everybody was like, "You're not the look we're looking for right now, or you're not the type we're looking for."
I imagine him as like 20 years old, looks exactly how he looks now.
Yeah, probably. I mean, because like What would have that been? That would have been like either the 60s or 70s, right?
Yeah.
Would've been like
in the
late-
60s. Because she's from 1940.
Yeah.
So in the 60s.
Like, who was big at the time? It would have been like,
Jose Alfredo was still alive.
yeah.
So
I guess they
anything,
kind of had their set people. They're very like operatic, and then there's Chente that's like, he gets
Chentes
real like, like with, with all this songs.
was just literally a poor kid from a ranch, and that's what he looks like, and that's the style he does. That's what he does. And at that time, people were still fixated on the golden age,
Yeah.
of Mexican cinema.
Well, if you look at him, he kind of looks kind of rugged and real,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
probably
people,
it.
people didn't want that image, that look. It
No.
didn't fit with what was going on. And
Yep.
then, were you going to say who died?
Oh, and then Javier Solis died. Wait, yes,
Yeah.
right? That was Javier Solis? Yeah.
From-
Javier
In
Yeah,
Solis.
1966.
66, gallbladder surgery. It went bad. Someone talk about that. I feel tired. Nah, do y'all know about
Gallbladder surgery.
The gallbladder surgery?
or just know about how he became big after Javier Solis?
Oh, wasn't it just like Javier Solis died and he kept trying to go for like CBS records, but they kept like rejecting him.
Oh,
and, then,
yeah.
and then when Javier Solis died, they're like, well, I guess we'll take you.
Yeah.
You want
and
an album?
They were like, here's
Yeah.
a contract. Kind of slid it to him. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah, they probably offered him like almost nothing or what he should have gotten.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're gonna take it." And he took it, but no,
Well,
yet he was trying to make it.
Well, that TV show, the one that I told you about, like when he was like 21, they
Yeah.
would pay him 35 pesos.
Oh yeah,
That's like nothing.
it's like $2.
Yeah, dude. Like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what the peso was worth at that point.
At that point, yeah, no.
Well, it
Yeah,
might have
gives
been a
a
little
good-
more. I don't know.
Probably a little better than what it is now.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't making anything on there, and I don't know. He just kept going at it, and what helped was the biggest radio station in all of Mexico, where Jose Alfredo was on there, and so many of those huge artists, XEX. That was the biggest radio station in all of Mexico, and he was finally able to get on there, and started making a name for himself because people heard his voice. And so yeah, after Javier Solis died, CBS or all these record labels were like, okay, we need somebody else, somebody different, somebody new to be the face.
Did you say CVS?
CBS.
Okay. I was like the pharmacy.
Yeah, imagine CBS sponsored.
Oh, God.
Oh, well.
It's been a while since I've been to CVS.
And well, so the first song, it's about the song. What's the song for Chente? Volver. That's what made him like huge, because he had some some hits or some albums before that, but it was 1972 when Fernando y Maldonado wrote Volver, but it wasn't until years later where Chente covered it and just made it huge hit. That the song is really nice. It's talking about a guy who feels guilty for hurting the person that he loved, and that it's his fault, and he accepts that, but he wants her back. And that song, man, everywhere we go, we play it at least once a week.
Yeah.
People ask for it. Even the people out in the ranches out here in the east side of Austin, or even the white people gigs. Yeah, I don't know what else to call them in Austin. The white people gigs, the corporate events,
The BGMs, what they call them, the background music.
BGM, the background music gigs. You'll just get a random person who, doesn't know anything about mariachi, and they'll be like, play Volver.
Or, can y'all play Volver? Yes, we can play Volver.
And then the big coro comes and everybody sings along. and everybody always sings it wrong or different.
That's funny.
But I don't.
They'll be like, yo sé bien que estoy afuera. Y volver, volver.
It just goes straight into it.
Yeah.
They don't wait. You know who likes to do that, mess around with the crowd a lot is José Fernandez.
Yeah.
Where they're doing Volver one time and
Oh yeah.
and he tried to direct the crowd and he's like Volver, Volver. And then they just go straight into it. But José Fernandez like, wait for me to signal you. They had to do it like 5 times because the audience they don't know. They follow him until eventually he just gave up. And he was like, all right, you know what, just keep playing.
But just to play with the crowd, right?
Yeah.
He does it.
Yeah,
That's
it was just for show.
Yeah. That's funny though.
Yeah, so it was the late 70s where Chente got huge off of the song and then really started touring and making a even bigger name for himself at this time. So the first song that we have today is Volver, Volver, which is by Fernando Z. Maldonado, who's a composer. And it is sung by myself and Noel Loera.
Este amor apasionado anda todo alborotado por volver. Voy camino a la locura y aunque todo me tortura, sé querer. Nos dejamos hace tiempo, pero me llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón y me muero por volver. Y volver, volver, volver a tus brazos otra vez. Llegaré hasta donde estés. Yo sé perder, quiero volver, volver, volver. Dejamos hace tiempo, pero me llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón y me muero por volver. Y volver, volver, otra vez. Llegaré hasta donde estés. Yo sé perder, quiero volver, volver, volver.
And we're back. Did you see that in the first episode?
I skipped around,
Okay.
so who knows?
There's a part where I'm like, and we're back. It's fucking
Uh-huh.
super cheesy.
And we're back. That was sponsored by McDonald's.
What's the next part of his life? I don't even remember. Did a lot. Do you know some of like about his acting?
So I was about to say, throughout his career, is he like going through like all his movies and stuff as he's getting bigger and bigger, or
Yeah.
Basically.
is it, I guess just as his career like moves along, he starts doing movies. Like, I wonder what made him want to be like in the movies and stuff. Was
Well, I
it just
mean-
watching them?
It was like because of his idols.
Uh-huh.
Because he saw that, like, you know, Javier Solis, Pedro
Uh-huh.
Infante, and all these guys were like, they were singers,
Yeah.
mariachi singers, well, mainly. But they were also actors. And
Right.
so Chente was like, well, I want to do that. Why can't I do that? And then he did it.
Yeah. It's funny. Like almost all the movies you see him in, he's always on a horse.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, there's
So-
I think it's in the Ley Del Monte movie. Is it the one where he's like fucking like chest hair all out? He's like,
yeah.
we're like,
That's
it was in the 70s, right?
Straight 70s look. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, dude.
Back when all the Vargas used to walk around with their shirts, the highest button they would do was like the bottom two,
Oh yeah.
and the rest was straight.
That's fashion.
So
It's
Sounds like
awesome.
Pato. All Pato right there, dude.
when we do the 70s Vargas episode, we all gotta wear our shirts like
Oh god.
that. It's
Nobody
just
wants to see that on.
Sounds like all Pato, dude.
Mexican icon. But his movies though were funny. Also, my uncle, who was very good bass player, he played with Ramon Ayala for a bit, or he was part of the group. He was in one of the movies, like as one of the musicians in the back playing.
Oh,
Oh
I don't remember which movie, but yeah, he was in one of Vicente's movies.
yeah. Actually, you just reminded me of something. I have a friend who had mentioned something like similar. They're like, oh yeah, like one of my family members was in one of the movies, but very different context. They were recording. I forgot what movie it is, but basically it's like Chenta's in jail, and so they got a bunch of inmates to do like extras, and one of them happened to be this friend of mine's like relative. That he was in jail at the time, and they were just like, yeah,
the actual inmates.
yeah.
And-
Actually,
Oh.
I don't know how much they paid them, if they paid him at
If
all,
they
but
paid him.
yeah.
It took some days off their sentence.
Yeah. And they're like, you'll go free if you're in this Chenta movie.
Because they're in debt.
But his movies were, he kind of plays the same guy.
Yeah,
in-
pretty
in-
much.
in every movie.
Yeah.
They do a whole like up and down of his life. The one that I saw recently, and dude, when I started watching it, I was like, I got hungry. Was Tacos al Carbon.
Oh, that was his first movie, I think. Not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is the first one.
That was the one that like kind of like
How
as
old
far
was he
as like
there?
his movie making career, like that was the one that jump started it.
How old was he there?
Still. See, 1971. That would have been
was 31.
yeah.
He was about 31, 30. But so that movie is that iconic Hermoso Carino music video
Uh-huh.
that you see where he's holding the kid
Mhm.
and he's singing that song, and
Right.
it's in a weird key that I still to this day can't figure out because it's kind of in C, but it's kind of not in C.
Yeah.
It's somewhere.
Just because it
Like,
gets
fluctuates.
It's the technology, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
They probably recorded it to like a vinyl,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
vinyl they were like, oh, let's just speed it up to match the video, and it happens.
Yeah.
Was he already drinking and smoking a lot before his gigs? Still, at
I
this
mean,
point,
he probably started like at 14.
dude. How
He
does
was like,
drinking.
yeah.
I don't understand how he does all that, and then he goes out and does a full concert like nothing. You know?
Oh, well, there's that iconic video where he lets that fan on stage with the bottle of tequila. You all seen that?
No.
Yeah, like there's I think he's singing. It might be Volver. No, it's I forgot what song it was, but he's singing, and then he just kind of looks off stage and he says, "Déjalo."
Oh, it's recent, right? Or no?
Nah, it was like while back.
Is it the one where he
He just keeps going, "Déjalo," like to the
I think
security.
that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
He was singing "I Can't Nos" or something, was it?
It might be ranchera.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the fan,
I
like they
remember.
finally let him on stage, and he's like running. He's like, "I love you, Chente." Like he gives him the bottle. Chente's like, "Give me the bottle. Get the fuck out of here." He just like picks it up, and he just starts like chugging the whole thing, and he finishes the whole thing, and then he keeps going
Yeah.
throughout the whole. Like, how does someone do that? Like, my throat would be burning after that. I'd be like, "What the
You
hell?"
right?
That's a professional.
You know who can do that?
Who?
Matthew.
Yeah.
You see Matthew on camera, but he's different off camera.
He's like, "I'll chug a whole bottle of Jack Daniels." Just for
I want to
fun."
know. This
Yeah.
makes me intrigued.
Jesus
that
Christ.
we need
bottle
we need to
was-
hang out now, Matthew.
That bottle was full when Matthew
Oh,
first got here. He made a lot of movies.
Yeah.
It was something like over 40 movies.
That's a lot.
No. Yeah. I thought he made more, but
It's a lot, man.
And
I noticed that a lot of movies around that era are like, especially like Mexican cinema movies, they're not that good. Like I saw some of the Jose ones also, like around that. I think it was like into the 80s. Like Chente was still making movies at that point, and yeah, dude, like,
Cheesy, right?
Really badly edited.
yeah,
Or like
Editing
like in the Jose,
score.
yeah, in like the Jose one, like you'll see him running, and then you'll see like a camera change, and then he'll be like, and then he'll like start again.
It's like they told him, okay, start running.
Yeah,
And
and they just like didn't like edit it right, so you just see like. Anyways, I'm here. Yeah, it's just really bad.
Well, I guess it's more so the story and how it ties into the song that gets people right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
because they named some of these movies after the song.
Yeah, yeah.
Or there's a certain song that's played throughout the whole the whole movie. But what they do in these movies sometimes is they make them look like a womanizer,
yeah.
which ironically Chente is not.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Not really. Well, I mean,
I
maybe a little
mean,
bit, but he's been married to the same girl for like 40 years or however long.
yes,
So
he's
he-
been married to the same woman. Yeah, but he was definitely like he'll
shit.
say yes, and then he'll like joke about it, but then he's like, oh well, I'm kind of serious, kind of not. He'll be like, yeah, of course I've like been with other people.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah, I mean like, yeah,
It wasn't really a big thing or big well-known thing compared to other huge artists
Mhm.
like him and mariachi.
yeah. He is like, I will say though, like there's been instances where like girls will be like, I want to kiss you, and like on stage or whatever, or like in the palenques, and like yeah, that'll happen. Actually, one of his like the funny, I think funniest videos is like some girl just like grabbed onto him and just started making out with him like hardcore, and he's like trying to sing, but like he's like and like the security finally pulls him off, and he doesn't see the speaker like behind him, and he just falls over, and he's still like singing, and you just hear like, he still keeps going.
Show
I
must
think he was
go
saying
on.
like "Mi querido viejo" or something.
He's like, no excuses.
Yeah.
Dang, man. That's
Wow.
swagger right there.
And then he just kind of like was rolling on the floor, just like he didn't know what to do until they finally picked him up, and he's like acting like if nothing happened.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
Well, he was a good performer.
Yeah.
That's for sure. If I would have done that, I probably would have stopped and been all pissed off and shit, you know?
Would have been like
He's
repeat.
like,
Yes.
hold on, start
Stormed
all
off
over.
stage. You would have asked for your money back, even though you're the one
Even though they pay me.
making- that that song El Jaliciense.
It's the best.
That's a nice song.
I love it.
It's just that's a traditional mariachi song, even though it has a little some fun stuff in there. That was from José Pepe Guizar. He was a composer, made sones and some rancheras and stuff. But that song, I think it's just really talking about like Jalisco and the state and how proud he is to be from there.
And like when they're like in the recording, in the second intro, you hear him being like, "Sí, soy, you know, de Huentitán, Jalisco," que no sé qué.
Yeah. Going over that song, there is a lot of like little technical things in the guitarron parts, at least. That was interesting. It didn't really follow a traditional bass line. You know, the people that play guitarron. It's like I don't know who played it, but But sometimes when it'll just be kind of simple to just do like contra rhythm on the guitarra and just play arpeggios, it mixes it up to an arpeggio and then 2 quarters, an arpeggio 2 quarters, and it does some funny stuff on the bass. And I think on the vihuela too, there's some, like, it goes down the scale a little bit on some chords.
Yeah.
And like you could just go to a D7. But no, it plays around with it a lot.
Yeah, it's a very non-traditional song, but it's cool that way. Yeah, it's very different
Yeah.
from its time. Yeah.
Have you played a song like that before, Matthew? I mean, you learned the violin part, right?
Of course. Of course I did.
Yeah, we're about to hear it.
Let's play it.
So the next song is El Jaliciense by José Pepe Guizar. He's the composer, and it was sung by Noel Loera.
Yeah. Or will be sung by. It was sung by Chente, but I will sing it. This podcast.
Noel will do his best interpretation to make Vicente sound like Luis Miguel.
Oh my gosh. I'll try not to.
And you're gonna get canceled.
Vengo a cantarles este muy alegre son, a quitarles la tristeza y alegrar el corazón. No les vengo a presumir, solo quiero demostrar que soy puro jalisciense, amigo a carta acabar. Dicen que somos malditos, eso es nomás por hablar. Somos hombres que cumplimos, no nos sabemos dejar. El que es nacido en la Meca, orgulloso de ella está, como el que nació en Tequila, palabeando su mezcal. Bonitos son los altos, bonito este Patitlán. Muy famosos son sus charros y la Virgen de San Juan. Es muy bonito Jalisco, ay, por el Grullo y Autlán. Una de grandes artistas, mi linda ciudad Guzmán. En el lago de Chapala, esta no me la pasé hasta que creció la hembra de quien yo me enamoré. Ya me voy para la barca y me voy por Acatlán pa' desviarme a Totonilco y de la vida gozar. Ay, qué bonito es Jalisco.
But you know, we should talk about his kids.
No.
He had a couple.
Yeah,
Chente
he had a
Jr.
couple.
Some more famous than the others.
Like Chente Jr. Who's Chente Jr.? It's like, yeah. He was,
Did you see that photo circulating around recently where
which one?
he's wearing like a fanny pack and he's dressed all like in sweats and stuff?
No.
But that-
No.
But he has like this real beautiful blonde girl taller than him all up on him.
Oh, was it the one where he's just like grabbing her boob? Oh wait, no, sorry. That's
Dang.
oh, and there's a bunch of photos of like Chente, because he'll be like, "Oh, I was joking around," and then he'll be like, "Nah, I wasn't joking." And he'll like be grabbing these girls' boobs like when they're taking
Dang.
photos. And they made a whole meme out of it because they were like, they got like they photoshopped them, in like a police riot thing, and he's like behind the police doing this.
Oh,
and
I
there's, like,
seen
a
that
really
one.
fat
Yeah.
just like grabbing his like nipple.
Yeah, it was.
I've only ever seen him in his traje.
Who? Vicente? No, Vicente Fernandez Jr.,
Oh,
his son.
Oh, okay.
They made a meme about it. Let's see if I can. Ah.
oh look, wait.
Yeah,
like
right.
these.
Yeah.
No, this one.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
And then people are commenting like, "Not for all the money in the world would I
Damn.
get with him."
Bro, that's funny.
It looks like Vicente, but he does not sing like him.
No, not at all. I mean, I think like whenever Chente like belts out notes, that's kind of what he sounds like, Chente Jr. Except for just not as good. And then like Alejandro and his son, they sound like when Chente always does like his like boleros, and he brings it all the way back to the throat. He's like, oh, like basically whispering the song. Yeah.
Yeah. We should. Well, let's talk about that later. But yeah, his kids. He had 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chente Jr., Alejandro, and
I always thought that was funny. I'm sorry.
yeah, and I don't remember who the other one.
The eldest,
Jerry.
yeah, Alejandro, Vicente Jr., Gerardo, and Alejandra. Wait, which was the one that was kidnapped?
That was
Gerardo?
Junior.
Gerardo? Oh,
Wasn't it Junior that was kidnapped?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
Google it.
think it was Junior. Oh.
I guess he was important enough to get kidnapped.
Well, he has, I guess, because they have the same name.
Oh, they got him mixed up.
They're like, we got the
Yeah.
wrong one.
They couldn't touch Alejandro, so they're like, "I'll take the other one."
Bro, but
They forgot about Gerardo.
3.5 million ransom.
He paid it, right?
Yeah. And then Chente still like, he's like, hey, we have your son hostage. He's like, oh, cool. Hey, give me a minute. I need to finish this concert. He just kept going on tour.
The show doesn't stop, not even if your son gets kidnapped.
Just make sure he takes a nap at this time and
Right.
Like, he needs 3 meals a day.
eats. Yeah.
Sing him the song though, or else he can't sleep. But yeah, I mean that was secret. I mean, how could you continue your tour when your son's captured? I guess he knew. He's like, I'm gonna pay it, and they're not gonna do anything to him, or else I won't pay it. So he was like, yeah. I don't know. He feel like he was pretty desensitized at that point. I
Who
think
knows?
when you're that huge of a person, of a star, you kind of have to carry yourself a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't
What do you mean?
react. You can't react like how, I don't know, a regular person would, a non-superstar
Oh, okay.
who would freak out and then go do everything at that moment. Because in a way, when you get to like that level of celebrity, your life is bigger than yourself, because your life is now a part of so many people,
Right.
and you kind of have to think about all the other people, because
Okay.
you're no longer just your own person.
Yeah. With the fame and power that Chente basically has, or had, still has, right?
Yeah.
He was even like involved in a lot of like political things. Like he would do a lot of the pre-rallies and all that stuff. Like he would be seen
Yeah.
often with like all these politicians. And then even U.S. politics with Hillary.
Yeah.
Even.
And she still lost.
Yeah. It's like not even the Mexican vote.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about his kids. Well, his most famous, right? Alejandro Fernandez.
Yes.
Became huge.
El Potrillo. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I call him. He gets a bad name, though, because some of the stuff he does. We'll talk about that in that episode.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
His tight leather suits. Have you ever seen Alejandro Fernandez?
Oh,
in
yes.
his concerts. You're like, oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
But like, you know who started copying that whole like leather traje thing?
Eddie Murphy.
Uh,
But yeah.
no, freaking. Was it Steven? Steven's in the what?
Oh,
He has like a leather
yeah.
traje. I'm like, bro, what? Like,
Yeah.
where'd you get that from? Take it off. Nah.
they all
Don't
copied
wear
it.
that,
They
please.
copied it from Eddie Murphy.
Right.
He started
Mexican icon Eddie Murphy.
that red suit. On the Juan Gabriel episode, we gotta talk about Harry Styles.
Oh my God.
yeah.
That dude, it's just like the same.
Yeah.
Some outfits are exactly the same.
Yeah.
But so his son Alejandro got a big name for himself, and they've done a lot of songs together.
Yeah.
Like Perdón.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
Perdón. Was a couple years ago at the Grammys or Latin Grammys when it was three of them.
Yeah.
Three
And
generations.
then
right
they
there.
tried doing a trio and it just sounded like,
Oh, dude, they
It
were
sounded
so-
weird.
They were
bro,
awful.
it sounded like trash. I was like,
It sounded
oh.
weird, dude.
They all three of them sing so differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't match at all.
Yeah.
But with Alejandro and Vicente specifically, you can definitely hear like the resemblance of their voices.
Yeah. Well, whenever
Yeah, that's-
Chente does the, like, again, the whole, like, bringing it to the back of his throat and
Uh-huh.
stuff, it's, like, spot on almost.
I mean, even though you can definitely hear some of Gente whenever Alejandro sings, some of his stuff when he starts to belt
Yeah.
too. What's one? I could hear it a little bit in like Perfuma de Gardenias.
Oh, yeah.
I could hear a little bit when he starts getting to those higher registers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like he actually really does have a nice voice.
Yeah.
But I can definitely hear some of Chente in there too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, even to have a little bit of Chente,
Yeah.
I would have killed.
Chente,
Killed that.
his style is so different and unique, and I think that's what attracts people. And his range. Well, I mean, his range is technically big, but it's also kind of not because of how he does things.
Yeah.
Like he'll sing La Ley del Monte in G, and then he'll sing Mujeres Divinas in F minor.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's like this far
Yeah.
in vocal range. But he does that stuff a lot. Like he just kind of makes it a little airy, or sometimes he doesn't need to do his full voice. I mean, what's the song? La Diferencia. I think he does it in. Is it La or Lo?
Isn't a lie, I think.
La.
Yeah.
And when that one is specifically, he does a lot of that where it's just all like head voice, where it's
Yeah.
he doesn't engage. He doesn't really. I don't know. His singing style is so unique. It can't really be.
Or El Rey in D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some songs that he'll like. It almost sounds like he's just kind of yawning the whole song, because he does that like in the higher range. It's pretty funny, but it's cool. Like when he belts it, he gets real like nasty.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And at the same
When
time,
he throws in like his or I guess when he gets more how do you say animated with his interpretation, you mean?
Yeah. Well, like
Yeah.
so he'll and actually I know a guy that does this. Was Osvaldo?
Uh-huh.
Or Sangre? He'll kind of do that Chenta thing, or if he'll sing like I don't know.
That guy's funny.
Yeah. What are the words to Cantarenas? No, not a Cantarenas. What's like a belty song that Chenta does?
A lot of them.
I guess like Volver, right? He'll be like or no, Jaliciense.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. It's like just like
Oh,
opens his mouth real wide, just like just freaking like
yeah.
intense. Like it's to the point where it's like it's still pleasing to the ear,
Uh-huh.
but you could see that in certain contexts maybe that might not be appropriate. Might sound a little kind of nasty.
Let's just say vocal teachers would definitely not teach you to do that.
No,
Let's just say
they
that.
would be very
No.
like, don't do that ever.
Yeah.
You know who kind of brings that style in a little bit though is Antonio Briseño.
Yeah.
I mean the lessons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He kind of does a little bit of Chente in his style of singing. He switches a lot, but he's really good at it, switching between that full voice and that head voice.
Yeah, he is good at that.
And His style, is very unique in singing, and Hermoso Carino is another one of those songs that
It's the first one they asked for. Every gig.
I think you could say the most popular top three would be Volver, El Rey, and Hermoso Carino
Yeah.
from Vicente.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody either knows those or asks for those,
Yeah.
and that's almost like a staple that you play at a birthday party, quinceañera.
Any gig, really.
Yeah, any gig I played it
Even
for,
burials.
weddings.
Yeah.
Funerals.
Burials, yeah. I've played Hermoso Carino at burials before.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean that song can
It's
be
weird.
interpreted many ways,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it's a very very nice song. I always found it strange when dedicating it to like a spouse, significant other, just because of when I think of that song, I think of the video and I think of him holding his little kid.
Well, yeah, because it's
Mhm.
supposed to be technically like father to child,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or like parent to child, not like husband to wife. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you could interpret it as in like, yeah, they were born like for me, like around my time or whatever or something.
yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
But
Yeah.
everybody has their own interpretation of it.
Yeah.
So that's what's great about it. But this is Hermoso Carino, composed by Fernando Maldonado and sung by Saucedo and Noel Loera.
Hermoso cariño, hermoso cariño, que Dios me ha mandado a ser destinado no más para mí. Precioso regalo, precioso regalo. Del cielo ha llegado y que me ha colmado de dicha y amor. Hermoso cariño, hermoso cariño, ya estoy como un niño con un juguete contento y feliz. No puedo evitarlo y quiero gritarlo. Hermoso cariño que Dios te ha mandado no más para mí. Hermoso cariño, hermoso cariño, ya estoy como un niño con un juguete contento y feliz. No puedo evitarlo y quiero gritarlo. Hermoso cariño que Dios te ha mandado no más para mí.
And we're back. I'm just kidding.
Yes, we are.
Are we?
Yes.
We're back.
Yeah. I'm just,
What was that?
don't
That's
know.
funny.
I feel like there's something that we're leaving out that's kind of important
About Hermoso Carino or about Vicente?
about Vicente.
What does it refer to?
I don't know. His life. We haven't talked much about his impact in the Mexican music. Well, we have, but I guess like him touring in U.S.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
what do you have on that, Noel?
let's see. I have a couple of things.
What do you do?
Well, did we mention his marriage yet?
We mentioned it.
Well, just that he's been married to her for like 40 years. What's her name? Maria?
Cuca.
Oh,
Doña
Cuca.
Cuca. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also like not necessarily been the most faithful with her.
You take that. No, yeah.
You take it back. Yeah.
He was a good guy.
Right. Fun fact, or not a fun fact, but just something that happened, you know, when he got married with Doña Cuca, his mom, that same day of the wedding, his mom had died of cancer. Which it was like a bad day, but also like a really good day.
Yeah.
You know, just depends. That's how you
Yeah.
see it.
I don't know, man. Not sure. I don't know many people that would go on with that wedding if
Yeah.
their mom did.
Might have been kind of awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. Yeah. It's different. You think he sang some songs about that?
About his mom. I mean, he did do a lot of songs
Mother's
dedicated
Day
to,
songs.
Yeah.
to moms.
And you know, it's you know, with his mom having cancer, obviously, it was hereditary because he ended up getting cancer twice
Yeah.
from the liver and then his prostate. And he had some other things. He's been to the hospital a lot, like to get procedures done.
Yeah.
So like he won't like die.
Yeah. The drinking might have contributed to those things.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably not healthy chugging a whole bottle of tequila and just keep.
It's not healthy to be a charro in general, dude.
No. But
Oh,
dude,
I shouldn't say charro. I'm sorry.
It's-
That's not what we're
That's
oh yeah.
supposed to be called.
it's, he wasn't even considered mariachi for a long time.
Well, because they were like, no, he's just a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a singer.
I mean, that's cool anyways, dude. Like,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck?
I mean,
Just do what you...
he's elevated mariachi music.
He has, dude, in a big way. I mean, we cover all his songs. Or, like,
We cover.
they're not his
That's
songs,
funny
right?
that
We cover his
we
covers.
cover his cover
cover his
songs.
covers. That's when somebody you cover your cover. That's you're badass singer.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, we go to gigs and we're always gigging and people are, we ask if nobody asks for anything. Hey, who do you want to hear? Do you want to hear Jose Alfredo, Vicente, or do you want to hear? I guess we're acting in a way as if they're his songs. I don't know.
Yeah. Like not necessarily
Yeah.
written by them,
Right.
but like. Yeah.
It's a weird thing, ain't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we said in
That's-
the last episode, El Rey by Vicente.
uh-huh.
Some people think it's by him.
Yeah. Some people
So
think.
like
it's-
Vicente, oh, okay, we'll do El Rey. Like, it's not
Yeah.
not his song though.
Or they'll be like, hey, do you know that George Strait song, El Rey?
Oh my god, that's the worst one.
And they'll be like, do you want like with Suroeste? Every time they're like, well, do you want it like?
Yeah, dude.
Do you want it like Vicente, like Jose Alfredo, or like George Strait? And everybody's like,
That's
George
funny.
Strait. And then Carlos is like,
That's funny.
he's like, I was kidding.
That's funny.
You're like Elvis.
Jeez.
Or, oh yeah,
Like
it's like,
Elvis.
are you we're gonna do Guadalajara. Do you want it the Elvis style or the Vargas style? And they're like, what?
Gente's cover Guadalajara is really cool. I don't know if you heard it. It's long. Like he adds a couple verses.
Wow.
It's like 4 or 5 minutes.
Damn.
And he doesn't do the key change. Well, he does, but it takes longer to get there because he adds a bunch of verses before.
Mm.
And I'm like, damn. And he's just out there belting out those A's. And we're back. No, we always.
That's funny.
And what was I say? Oh yeah, that we haven't. I feel like there's a lot more to Vicente,
Oh well,
and there has to be.
here's a couple things. Let's see.
I mean, we got to talk about his star on Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's not very common for a Mexican singer to get a star on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ever since I think it was the year 2000 when I think it was like for New Year's. You know, for that New Year's celebration with the big ball and everything. And yeah, well, Chente sang at that the year 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I remember there's a home video of me as a little kid, and for some reason, as a kid, I never liked Chente's voice, and so I would start crying.
Really?
I think it was like 5 years. Yeah, because I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, and like Chente came on and he was singing, I think, Volver. He's like, "Hey, Volver," and I'm just like, "Ah, ¿qué es eso?" Super like.
You need to post that.
I should. Yeah, I need to go. I need to go
Insert-
back home and look for
Insert
it.
a clip right here.
Yeah.
You just see me like
little Noel. Just
no, yeah.
To
You
this
see,
day, I
you
still
see,
react like that.
Volver. And you see me in the background like, just, like so annoyed.
It's not,
Dang, dude, that's crazy.
not a good singer.
I don't know what it was. I don't know why. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
And you still feel that way.
Fun fact.
Do I still feel that way? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, nah, I don't.
You're like, Vicente's kind of
Maybe
trash.
sometimes. I don't know.
Vicente's kind of trash.
Nah, I like Chente singing.
Dude, he's amazing, man. He's my favorite singer. That's for sure.
Vicente?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will
He's
say,
got so many.
yeah, I will say there are some songs that I'll be like, I would rather listen to someone else's because like, you know how like you said like like they'll go into a studio and he probably recorded like 10 songs in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those are like, yeah, he did, but so in order to save his voice, he did things to like not mess up or not tire himself out. So like sometimes like I don't know, like Mi Querido Viejo. Maybe not Mi Querido Viejo because he still like belts things out, but there's certain songs where like in that style, and that same like yawning thing, like he just does it throughout the whole song, and he just that's all
He's
he
like
does.
whispering the whole thing.
Yeah.
One of the songs where I really didn't like. He's my favorite singer, but I would have loved to hear him sing the whole thing. Dang, I lost it. I don't know, but I
Oh.
know what you mean though.
Well, there's a recording of him, a live recording of him singing Amor Mío.
Oh,
Bolero?
I'm sorry. It was I think it was Señor de las Canas.
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah.
He's like the whole song, and I would have loved to see him like or hear him like actually kind of really sing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little. I don't know. Maybe not do that the whole song.
Yeah. But he was probably like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm tired. Just gonna.
Maybe.
And yeah, like that live recording of Amor Mío, like same thing. Like he just like, Amor Mío, todo
Yeah.
por divino, na, 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 na. Like that's the whole thing. Like it's just him whispering the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's Chente and do what he wants.
Right.
that's
People
true.
still buy his
But-
albums.
Is he the only one to do that though?
Um,
In
not
his recordings?
necessarily.
Because he does it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I think anybody does it.
And it's kind of like a staple of
you know
his.
that I've noticed female singers do it.
Yeah.
They'll go a lot to their head voice, or they'll make it kind of really soft.
Yeah.
And a lot of female singers will do it, and it's not as big or as popular as male vocalists to do it.
Yeah. Like
It's interesting though, because people do it, and you know exactly who he's imitating, who he's trying to be, you know, and it's
Yeah.
funny in a way when they try to do it.
Yeah, so it's, I don't even try honestly imitating Chente because I can't.
I've tried it once. It's not very good.
People are like, "Are you okay?"
Right.
Are you
And you're over
yawning?
here,
I'm like, "You yawning? You bored?"
I used to do the at the end of Mujeres Divinas in the album recording that Chente did. He goes, mujeres tan divinas, no queda otro camino que adorarlas. And then he
Yeah.
does this like weird like gasp. And so I've done it a couple of times and you can't even hear it. I was like, nah, like I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna bother.
You can't hear it. That's what I was gonna say. I think I've told you this before years ago, but I was like, do you think that he just goes in and records a bunch of like 50 different of those in the studio, and the engineer just adds them in?
Throws
Whatever.
them in whenever.
He just one day was just recording different sounds.
God.
He might have.
I mean, nah, I don't think so. Because a lot of those, like, he just kind of did in one take.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
true.
a lot of the ad libs and everything, like those are all just like on there.
Yeah, ad libbing is that's hard.
But that's why, like, for example, like the recording of El Jaliciense, you'll hear some stuff that's kind of off. And you'll be like, why is that so off? And it's like, oh yeah, because he just, you know, because he just did it in one take.
I imagine the engineers in there is like, hey, you want to record that last? He's like, nope. Next song.
It's like,
It's perfect.
it's like, I'm already tired. I already belted it out like too many times.
Nope. Not one. Yeah, but the ending of Jaliciense is so weird. Like, it has like 3 different endings.
Yeah. Qué bonito es Jalisco.
It's chingón, though.
And you think that's the end, and like, it's like,
And then.
oh yeah, that.
I hope Shante watches this.
Oh my god.
He's like, ¿qué? What are they saying? Doesn't know English.
Oh, you know, we should probably talk about his very expensive trajes
So
Um,
many.
and his like his top of his career like money.
Yeah, I mean, he's made millions and millions of dollars.
And tell me why he has a holster with no gun sometimes.
You know, like, so it's funny because he lives in a multi-million-dollar ranch, right? With a
Right.
stadium and freaking airport and I don't know what. But he actually doesn't have that much money, like, as far as, like, net worth, because a lot of the stuff he just gave it to, like, all of his children.
So La Ley del Monte is man, it's a really nice song, and you saw the movie, well, at least some of it, right?
Some of it, yeah.
And yeah, I think I gotta make a correction that I said like 5 months ago. I think I said it was a tree, but no, yeah, it is a cactus.
Cactus, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking tree. I don't know. I had read some translation, but it was wrong.
Well, because, like, I mean, who writes on a cactus? You never see that in movies. At least here, you see, like, oh, it's like on an oak tree. You write,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but when you dig into the song, and well, I mean, if you know Spanish, but it says they'll grow. Even if you cut off, the arms or the nopales, they'll grow with kind of like the same like scarring, like it's always gonna be there.
yeah.
And so that song, man, there's been a couple times when I've sung it and I couldn't get through it sometimes. That's also because I try to relate to the songs as much as possible, especially the ones that I really know, understand the meaning of. And so that song is talking about how, a girl was, he was very in love with a girl, and that she's the one who told him to draw 2 hearts on the cactus with the arrow and put their names, and then now she's pretending like they didn't even know each other, that he doesn't exist. And at the end he says, it doesn't matter because their story is already written. It's there, and it's always going to be there. And that movie, I haven't seen all of it, but I think, that's kind of what the movie's about, right? About that love.
A classic love story. In the movie, I think the girl's rich and he's poor. That classic rich, poor, one of them.
Yeah, except I'm always a rich one.
Is
If I'm not mistaken, a lot of these Chente movies tend to be like not necessarily autobiography. Fuck, how do you say that?
autobiography?
Autobiographical.
Yeah, that's
there
the
we
word.
go.
Oh, okay.
Biopic.
Couldn't say that. For the
Biopic.
life of me. Yeah. So, cause like, there's a couple like of what is it? El albañil. Well, like he was a construction worker for a while. Also, like there was a lot of them. Well, he was a shoe shiner, a construction worker. What else did he do? He did like a bunch of stuff. And some of those like movies are like, they have the title of what he did. So I'm like what? Like I'm all like, are they about him or like?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I need to see them just to like.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean they're they're not great, but they are. Some of them are kind of funny, or if you like that stupid comedy or the story
Or it was like the one
or
with
the music.
Yeah, like the one with La India Maria.
But I mean, if I was that big a name, I would make a bunch of movies where I would play myself different parts of my life. I would be like a movie about when I was a boxer and just fail at the end.
You're like, it's not a good movie.
Well, the story is great. The ending, you know, that's kind of
work.
the ending. Well, I failed, but that's kind of what his movies are. Though he kind of fails at the end always, or he just goes back to where he started. He kind of does that same up and down. He's really high in the movie at one point. At the end, he loses everything
damn,
and starts over.
what a life.
The greatest
It's crazy.
to ever do it. Nah, I won't cut that up. But yeah.
Sorry. We should. Well. Yeah, we should probably mention all the stuff like kind of like not too recently, but pretty recently. What's happened with him?
With in the past 5 years, you mean?
In the past. Well, yes, but also his what was it? Well, the liver cancer one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about the. Well, we'll talk about it after introduce La Ley Del Monte.
Okay.
I don't want to stain that one.
Because it's gonna get real bad real quick.
It's gonna get. It's gonna get. Yeah. Well, so this next piece that we'll be interpreting is La Ley del Monte, composed by José Ángel Espinoza, also
Right.
known as Ferrusquilla, sung by myself. And
Grabé en la penca de un maguey tu nombre unido al mío, entrelazados como una prueba ante la ley del monte, que ahí estuvimos enamorados. Tú misma fuiste quien buscó la penca, la más bonita, la más esbelta. Y hasta dijiste que también grabara los corazones con una flecha. Ahora dices que ya no te acuerdas, que nada es cierto, que son palabras. Yo estoy tranquilo porque al fin de cuentas en nuestro idilio las pencas hablan. La misma noche que mi amor cambiaste, también cortaste aquella penca. Te imaginaste que si la veían, pa' ti sería como una afrenta. Se te olvidaba que el maguey sabía lo que juraste en nuestra noche. terminarse con un reproche. No sé si creas las extrañas cosas que ven mis ojos, tal vez te asombres. Las pencas nuevas que el maguey le brotan vienen marcadas por nuestros nombres.
Okay. We're in what is hacerse el recto final. Quarterfinal. I looked up what that means. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? It means basically the end, semifinal, quarterfinal.
Oh, really?
He does that when we have like 1 or 2 songs left to kill more time. He's like, yeah, estamos en el recto final. And he just stands there for a bit. And so the clients are like,
Talks to his kids. Starts talking to his kids on the phone.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes.
But I mean, Chente kept performing forever until his late. Well, he was born in 1940, right? And his last concert was what, 2016?
Yeah. You know, there was probably a lot of things that finally contributed to him just being like, I don't want to do this anymore. One of them happened in. Well, so okay. So I think it happened here in the U.S. The DEA started putting him in an investigation because they thought that he was laundering money of his performances. That apparently the money, like there was other things going on backstage. And I don't think they ever found anything. So they just kind of dropped the charges. Which Chente was like, what the hell, man? Like,
that's racist.
Yeah, right? They're like, well, just because I'm Mexican? Yeah. I mean, also because, like, I mean, he is really, like, at that point, he was really rich. I mean, he still is. Plus the, you know, golden trajes. Like, those trajes probably weigh, like, I mean, a regular traje already weighs a lot, you know, with the gala. But you could imagine it made out of, like, pure gold. Like, the embroidery and everything. Like, that's a lot of money. And that's a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the people don't know what that exactly means is when you see the stitching on like clothing, even the clothing that you're wearing, it's actual gold. Yeah, like the
thread.
The thread.
The thread was gold, and then like all the metal pieces, the gala. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's.
Imagine like wearing like a gold ring, like. But a crap ton of them, like
no, dude, fucked up your finger already. Imagine,
yeah, this finger is already feeling dead.
That goes from being like, you know, because most trajes can go from 300 to 300 to 500, right? But like to make everything out of like gold would add an extra like a good like 10,000, 20,000 for a traje.
You got the money, I guess.
Yeah,
he's got to show off.
Yeah.
Imagine what that sombrero must weigh, though. There's gold in there.
The DEA investigating him. It was also the liver cancer. That kind of.
Yeah. That was an interesting thing.
Yeah. And it was mostly because of what he said, not the actual like cancer itself.
Yeah. I mean, what he said is ridiculous because it's, you know, that's not how it works.
No.
Unless you think it's a disease, then well, yeah, but that's.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, I guess, but I don't know.
But yeah, he needed a liver transplant, right?
Yeah.
And he refused.
Yeah.
They found him one, but yeah, he said he didn't want no homosexual or no drug addict.
Well, he was like, no quiero. What is it? What did he say? He was basically like, I don't want to lay with my wife with the liver of someone who's gay or someone who's a drug addict. That's the clean version of things. And by the way, there's video of him saying this.
Yeah.
Like, of course they have to bleep it out, but like from what he actually said, right? But like he said that, you know.
This happened in Houston.
Yeah, Houston. That's where he was getting treated for that, and then. He was like, I don't want to no, I don't want a transplant. You know, like it's just too weird. And so he got a second opinion, and he got some operation in Venezuela.
Yeah.
But so it's funny because it was Venezuela, but it was a Mexican doctor that did his that did his stuff.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to South America.
Yeah,
Get it treated over there.
get home remedies.
I just imagine what like his wife and kids were saying. We're trying to tell him. I assume they're trying to convince him to get the transplant. Like they're like, do it. You're being stupid.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know. I don't want to be like judgy, right? But like, he says that. Yet is like Alejandro's like dresses more feminine than Juan Gabriel. Sometimes.
He's had a couple videos and pictures of himself at some parties where he got a little too messed up. Having a good time. We'll talk about that in upcoming episodes. Right, Matt?
Sounds like we got our next topic.
Our next guest. Alejandro.
Next guest.
Alejandro Fernandez.
Yeah.
He just walks in.
In his leather traje.
His leather traje.
One thing that I didn't even believe this when I read it, but I still don't. Chenta's 5'6".
Yeah, he's
I believe
pretty
it.
short.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, Alejandro's a little taller, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
He just
Well, he's on stage.
He looks huge.
He's on
Yeah.
stage, and
That's I guess he's aware of that, so that's why you never really see him close to the group or mariachi or anybody else.
Yeah. There's a video with him singing with a couple of videos, right, where he's like singing with other singers, and one of them is Celia Cruz and the other one is José, and both of them way taller than him.
yeah.
Well, actually, José is like about Chenta's height, but Celia Cruz, dude, she's like
big, right?
way taller than him.
Yeah, she's tall.
Yeah.
I mean, Alejandro's gonna be tall though too. You see the videos when they sing together too. He's fucking.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's pretty tall.
They're 5'6". So there's hope, Matt.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Just don't give up.
Thanks, man. I won't. I'll keep.
I think that was part of the reason why he was also never really signed. Like it took him a while. I mean, just overall, he didn't have the look.
Yeah.
And height is important.
I mean, but we're Javier Solís and Pedro Infante, were they all tall? I really don't know.
Let's look real quick. I feel like they were, but also I felt like Chente was at least like 5'10". But
5'6" is considered pretty short.
Well, but like that's like kind of Mexican average.
There's a category for that now. Mexican average.
Javier Solis is 5'10".
5'10". Laching.
That was my height. Yeah.
Yeah. He was. Oh, but I guess one thing to notice.
Actually, 5'11", sorry.
Well, before we get into that, Chente was seen as the fourth gallo. He's recognized as that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy because there's only four, and the other three are huge legendary artists for him to be put up there. And I mean, he made all those movies and all these songs that he interprets. And but yeah, we were talking about the liver transplant, and he denied it, and so then reports came out right for everywhere saying Chenta's homophobic and
a lot of people were like, especially like more of the the more progressive like Latino like news things or like gossip things, they were very much like very offended. Like they were like, we need to cancel Chente like right now. And then everybody else was just, I mean, like the average audience is kind of like, yeah, like fuck all them, you know.
Well, you think that kind of forced him out? You know what I mean?
Nah. No, because like,
I mean, how many people showed up to his last concert?
yeah, like it was so many. Yeah, everybody just completely just forgot about it.
And it was funny when those reports came out, and I was like, look at him. What'd you think?
Like,
He's from the ranch, deep Mexico. He sings all these rancheras. That's how he just grew up.
Yeah.
like what I wouldn't expect. I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't expect any less than TVH. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was funny.
I use TVH in an actual conversation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gotta
Take that off.
cut that. That's in the contract. No, you can't
Adolf's
say
gonna be
that.
upset.
Yeah.
did he listen to the last episode? Do you
Yeah.
know?
I think so.
Well, we called him out.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
like, hey, Adolf, tell him to
It's still out.
something. I don't remember what I said. But he was giving his farewell tour, right? Well, when was that? 2016.
Yeah,
2016.
26.
He played in the Valley actually.
Yeah.
One of his dates, I think, was in Hidalgo. But his very last concert was in Mexico City,
Mhm.
in the Estadio Azteca. That man, thousands. What was it, like 30, 40,000 people
Yeah.
showed up.
Dude, and all the mariachis that were on there.
Yeah.
And big
Outstage.
names. You know, like what? Vargas, Noteca,
Oh, that guy.
Mariachi America?
Mm.
Forgot. They had a good amount of groups though.
You know something? I've always been interested. How come he's never had Mariachi Vargas record for him?
Oh, actually, I think I know that story.
Oh yeah.
He's never had them record for him,
Well,
and
no.
they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
Like, why?
So, I'm not sure how true the story is, but apparently they had collaborated for a bit, and they were gigging together. Well, gigging. I mean, they were doing concerts together, right? And then I think in one of those concerts, Chente was kind of drunk, and he started shit talking to a lot of the guys from Vargas. And it was like, y'all can't follow me, y'all don't know what you're doing, and blah, blah, blah. And these guys were like, we don't need this. We have so million, like, all these, like, other famous artists.
Yeah.
We don't need to be treated like crap. You know, and they just left. Yeah. And so that's why there's no Vargas and Chente, because Chente kind of messed up, you know.
He shunned them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
never see them together.
Yeah, never.
Or albums or concerts.
Like, you know, you see other singers being complete assholes like Luis Miguel, right?
Yeah.
But not once has he ever been an asshole to the guys from Vargas. Like, he would just show up,
Yeah.
be like, hey guys, and then would just leave, you know. But Chente did, and kind of ruined it.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
He is Chente. One thing people have mentioned before, and I've kind of heard it too, in some of his albums, there's not a live mariachi. Like in some of the songs, and you can kind of tell something sounds synthetic or added. Maybe they could like do MIDI files and add like trumpets or violins. Or even some of the musicians that they use are not like mariachi musicians.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just, and you can kind of tell sometimes in some recordings.
Yeah, that'll be they'll get just studio musicians that can read, and they'll just be like, here you go, it's a mariachi song, do your best mariachi sound, and they'll be like, oh, okay. But like in reality, they play like freaking like jazz. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And doesn't sound anything like it.
Like that that recording of it's Chente and what's his name? Very famous jazz singer. Tony Bennett.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a song that they did. It's called "Return to Me."
Uh-huh.
And if you hear like the trumpet in that recording, he's like, like it's super like like not mariachi.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it works. It sounds pretty. Like, it's a cool song.
Yeah. They seem like really good friends.
Yeah,
Vicente
yeah.
and Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett's like, let me draw you. Let me draw a quick sketch. And he's like, the music video. We need to talk about, and before we bring up the song, we need to talk about one of his collaborators that he had, collaborated with for a very long time, which is Federico Mendez.
Yeah. What were some of his biggest compositions?
Well, the main one that I know is De Que Manera, but he also wrote, Let me look that up real quick. Give me like 2 seconds.
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
So Federico Mendez though, like he's also a singer, and like there's a couple of videos where like him and Chanta like they're on stage in trajes like together singing, performing together, because Federico Mendez ended up becoming like basically his producer, his like vocal coach, telling him like, oh, do this, do that. This is how you're gonna do this. This is how you're gonna interpret this. So a lot of Federico's like doing the, which is how Chanta sounds the way he sounds in that era.
Yeah.
Which would have been like the, I want to say like the 70s or 80s.
Man, I should know this. We should all know this, but he wrote Por tu maldito amor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Aunque mal paguen ellas. Hoy platiqué con mi gallo. De qué manera te olvido.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot of his big name.
Yeah, a lot of the
Big name stuff.
a lot of the segundas that you hear in Chanta's recordings, it's Federico.
Really?
Yeah.
They do actually sound the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
They sound really similar.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them like Chanta would go back and do it himself.
That makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
But then there's other ones that Federico's like, oh no, I'll sing it. You know.
They do sound the same. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I mean, that shows that everybody needs a coach or somebody there to guide you or help you.
Well,
how
it's
big you are.
well. I mean, I guess it's easy to say, but it's up to the actual individual to actually let somebody in your life to do that, to let that in, to allow that knowledge to come to you, because a lot of people are stuck up and they're like, no, I know everything,
Yeah. But Chanta was very, even though, millions of dollars and all this stuff, he still maintains himself very humble.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives. He lives a simple life. He lives really nice because he has a lot of money, but his
Yeah.
life is simple.
Yeah.
No, doesn't even leave his house. He has his own home studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everything's simple, just to the most expensive degree.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a horse. It was like, oh, okay. Yeah, but it's like $30 million. Like, what the hell?
Well, you have that ability, the money, it's there. So,
And I mean, he also has that whole thing with so he rents out private planes to different artists.
oh, okay.
Like, that's his whole thing now.
That's his, yeah.
It's like side
think-
business.
It's because I think I've heard, or I've seen something like that on YouTube
Yeah.
or something to that
Yeah.
degree.
It's like, I wonder if, I don't know where, like, we took kind of a weird turn.
We sure did, yeah.
Good.
Should go back to Federico.
Yeah,
We're
we're
talking
almost
about
done.
Federico and the segundas. And,
Yeah, he did the segundas for Chenta songs.
yeah. And the fact that he wrote De Que Manera. De Que Manera was a big song. Another song that was also covered by a crap ton of people. Rocío Dúrcal covered it. Luis Miguel covered it. Who else covered it?
And Vargas has done
Yeah.
like arrangements on it.
Yeah. And that was, the original was an arrangement by Rigoberto Alfaro. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Oh, the original
Those-
arrangement.
Well, yeah, but remember, like, when we were at the Albuquerque festival, and he was like, yeah, that was my arrangement.
Yeah. He says everything's his arrangement.
I mean, yeah. Like, José Fernandez is like, that's my arrangement.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, dude.
nobody knows, but it's my arrangement.
I wasn't there for that, but when I showed up, whenever he taught the armonía, that I wasn't there. So I show up and I had to learn those chords in less than a day, dude.
Sorry.
Yeah, they don't move.
I
if you
will.
touch 'em.
My bad.
That was horrible, man. My hand was cramping like crazy.
Yeah.
Ambihuela, dude. Come on.
Yeah, because, like, when he was just trying to figure out the chords, like, he was, like, doing all these, like, all of these jazz harmonies, and he was just, like,
Shit.
fiddling around. I was like, man, like, this guy, like, for, how old is he? He's, like in his 80s?
Yeah, he's
Very prolific on that guitar,
yeah, dude,
man.
on the guitar, I was like, man, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Doing it for a long time, man.
Yeah.
best
So-
friends with Quintero.
Yeah. But yeah, he wrote,
So I mean, De Que Manera Te Olvido, it's it's a nice song, but it doesn't get asked for as much when you compare it to his bigger name songs.
Yeah, but I think that also is kind of because a lot of mariachis don't necessarily learn it.
They don't have the motivation to learn it.
Well, I mean, because it's a lot of chords. There's a lot of harmonies.
There's stuff in there. There's key changes. And then it starts in A minor and goes to A major.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Like, it's kind of like when people ask for, like, Juan Gabriel Te Sigo Amando. Nobody's going to do the perdóname mi amor, for, like, the like, nobody, unless you're, like, one of the groups that, like, wants to do a lot of the harder songs and have, like, a 13-piece group, then maybe, but most gigging groups aren't going to even bother trying to do it. And same thing with, like, a Manera.
Every time they ask for it, I'm like, God. I barely know it. I'll get through it, but I'm going to mess up somewhere. I always mess up on the second intro. Because it's different. It's slightly different. I'm like, why would you change the chords? Because they also change the melody.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
There's a that freaking.
And I'm just like, great, this is different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I give up.
The whole, like, there's no real, like, I mean, I guess there's repeats, right? Like the chorus repeats, but everything else is like, it's a variant of something.
Yeah. And then the ending goes to like a G7 and just ends.
Yeah. There's
actually a G9.
Oh, G9. Sorry, Adolf.
And
I'll tell you.
I learned it this past weekend. And yeah.
It's
interesting, man.
There's a live performance of Chente singing it where he like brings up Federico. And he's just like, hey, this is the guy who wrote it. And then he just kind of like has his arm around Federico and is walking around like the whole palenque. And Federico's just like, okay. Like, just like super awkward. And then he makes Federico sing it. And I noticed at the end, though, they do change the ending. Because it does the same thing. Ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da. They do like a major 7 something. I don't know. It's real fancy. I like it.
You're like, I approve.
Yeah. It's
like big ass stamp.
Subscribe.
Big
Yeah.
approve.
So this next song that we'll be covering is De Que Manera Te Olvido, composed by Federico Mendez and sung by Matt Saucedo.
Verás que no he cambiado, estoy enamorado, tal vez igual que ayer. Quizás te comentaron que a solas me miraron llorando tu querer. Y no me da vergüenza que aun con la experiencia que la vida me dio, a tu amor yo me aferro. Y aunque ya no lo tengo, no te puedo olvidar. Y a tu amor yo me aferro, y aunque ya no lo tengo, no te puedo olvidar. ¿De qué manera te olvido? ¿De qué manera yo entierro este cariño maldito que a diario atormenta a mi corazón? ¿De qué manera te olvido si te miro en cualquier gente y tú no quieres ni verme porque te conviene callar nuestro amor? qué manera te olvido? ¿De qué manera yo entierro este cariño maldito que a diario atormenta a mi corazón? ¿De qué manera te olvido si te miro en cualquier gente y tú no quieres ni verme porque te conviene callar nuestro amor?
Oh, should I give some like quick fire facts too?
Yeah, we got a
See.
couple minutes.
You gonna do that? And we're back. And then
And we're okay. What's up? And now Noel is gonna. No, this sounds shitty.
And we're back.
And we're back. No, say it.
And we're back.
Okay.
oh wait, you gotta look at one of the cameras. I'll be like, and we're back.
And we're back. This message was brought to you by McDonald's. Home of the good burger.
And then we got lights up here so you can go like
Oh my god.
spotlight on.
Oh, that stupid. Oh, that stupid show.
Dude, so I tried to listen to the Chente one and I couldn't.
No.
Oh, that one was boring.
Dude, I hate that show. They're like, don't. Vicente Fernandez, bro. It's like,
It makes it so dramatic. It's just stupid.
yeah, dude.
But what do you have on Chente on his dirty secrets?
Oh, well, I have some quick fire facts. So, here's a couple things. So, first of all,
Show me the Carfax. What?
the Carfax. His nickname, right? Or well, the titles that they've given him, right?
Mhm.
A couple titles. One of them is El Rey de la Música Ranchera. The other one is El Charro de Huentitán. And then there's, well, obviously he's part of the. Wait, actually, okay. So his restaurant chain, the Tres Potrillos, are those his three sons, or is that including him? It's his three sons, right?
I think it is the three sons.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Not that. I was about to be like, oh yeah, he calls himself El Potrillo, but no, that's not it. Oh, he has a world record for most people making out in one place at one time. And the most biggest audience, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Dude, like imagine
Chente concert.
I think it was a farewell concert. Like it was just that many people watching.
Yeah.
That many people attending. Fuck, because that thing was huge, dude.
Yeah.
Gotta go to a Chente concert. Oh, I can't anymore.
Well, didn't he do something like in 2019?
I don't remember.
He just kind of came out of retirement just for fun.
Yeah.
Because he kind of does that. Like
Yeah,
he'll
that's
be
not
like,
as fair. That's not as fun because you need a chair. He needs a chair, you know.
King.
It's like
he just kind of stands there, and then there's like a guy being like, "Come in," and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Forgets.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
nah, he's even. I think even seeing him now, it's it's a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's still around,
Yeah.
still producing albums, releasing stuff.
Yeah.
People go to record at his studio.
Yeah. They're good.
And,
Yeah. People. Yeah. It's real cool.
and that's why he's up there as one of the most iconic, legendary, figures of Mexican music.
Yeah.
Without composing a single song.
Right.
That's
Oh wait, did I talk about the handsy stuff? Yes, right.
the what?
Earlier.
Oh yeah, him getting in
Earlier
trouble.
you did.
Oh okay.
Oh yeah, but
And
rapping.
grabbing all the.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
Done. No. So this has been episode 2 of Legends of Mariachi. We have more guests coming, more artists, groups that will cover. We need people to comment or message any one of us, see what you all want to know about or what artists you want us to cover, or if you want to be in an episode, message any one of us and let us know. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Come on, guys.